Hello everybody, this is Andrea and I'm here to help you with a video that actually has come at a bit of a request lately. A lot of people are dealing with many things right now. For example, there's a ton of grief going around in my family, as many other families right now. Also a lot of anxiety with kids going back to school, things changing, the kind of nice calmness of the summer, and fall is approaching, and all of the busyness that brings for a lot of people. So I felt it was important to maybe do this video. So this is the Fab Five, but directed specifically to different organs. Because if you remember in the Fab Five, it's find it, face it, feel it, let it flow, fill it with love, focus on what you do want. Some people have trouble with that find it phase. Where is this being held in my body? So today's video is actually to direct you specifically to different organs. And it's always important to feel to heal. And as we know, like attracts like. So when we feel the specific emotion that's typically held in a specific organ, that likeness will get the energy, which is emotion. Emotion is energy in motion. It'll get that emotion moving and moving out of you. And then we can fill it with love. So to start off, let's do a little experiment. And I want you to just take one hand and without thinking, grab a finger. Whatever finger I happen to grab my index finger. Just whatever finger you grab, or maybe you grab the whole hand. Again, without thinking, take one hand, take the other hand, grab whatever finger your hand gets drawn to, or the entire hand. You got one? All right, so for me it was my index finger. Let's see what that potentially could mean. Not necessarily set in stone, but potentially. So, if it's the whole hand, it's nourishment that you need. So you need to nourish your soul, your whole entire being. If it's your thumb, it's worry that you're dealing with, somewhere stuck in your body. And that is not, now again, this is not set in stone. You're thinking, well, I got worry and I grabbed my index finger. Doesn't matter. Just a starting point. If it's your index finger, it's fear. So I grabbed my index finger. So somewhere in my body, I'm storing fear, which that doesn't surprise me. Your middle finger is anger. Your ring finger is sadness. And your baby finger is you're basically trying too hard. You're putting a little bit too much into things. Okay? So again, this is just a guide. So keep that in mind as we go through this, and maybe we'll do it at the end. Well, no, because then you already know what we're doing. But we can do it anyway as an experiment. So, anxiety. Let's just talk about anxiety as an overall thing. Anxiety is not a comfortable thing, and it's different for everybody. Everybody has a different anxiety level or way to express anxiety. What might be something just minor to you could be something that's triggering something from the past that's much more intense for somebody else. So it's like an iceberg. This is what we might be presenting up top in the surface out to people, but this is what we're dealing with below the surface. As we know, an iceberg is always a lot more under the water than above the water. So this is what we're presenting to the world. This is what our past traumas, our past issues in our tissues, our past mental and physical issues that are always there as an underlying current. It's like the 24-hour news channel that you have the main story being told, but that ticker tape that runs across the bottom, those are our past traumas that we might have even forgotten about, that are so buried in our subconscious that we're not even aware of them. We didn't even know they happened. So, yes, so that's why anxiety is very different for the different people. So, now, we have different organs in our body that typically hold emotions. Now, this is just is that upside down? Yes, it is. Very crude chart. And there's many charts that you can get on the internet. But basically, the lungs hold grief or sadness. the heart will have issues with love, or if it's an issue with, so it could be hate. The liver is anger, typically holds anger. The kidneys, which are not on this diagram, typically hold fear. And the spleen and stomach typically hold worry, with also the spleen holding childhood traumas. The pancreas is all about sweetness of life. The intestines, which are not on here, is about holding things from the past. And also the small intestine can also hold a lot of anxiety. So, there's where your parts are. These are the lungs. There's the heart. There's the stomach. There's the liver. Pancreas is behind the stomach. And of course your small intestine and your large intestine are your colon. So, let's start with the lungs. Start with the heart, actually. Start with the heart. So, we're going to go to the heart. You put your hands on the heart. Now, you can also use essential oils, and I think I will. I'm going to use release to start. So, you can huff it, you can apply it, you can diffuse it. This is to help me release. I'm going to put it down on my heart. There we go. And I only suggest I only use Young Living oils because of the purity of them, and their action actually does it. It's not filled with fillers or other things that will inhibit the actual plant's action. So release is a blend to release emotions out of the body. And here we go. Let's go to the heart. Sink it in. Even if you're not exactly sure what part of the heart or where the heart is, just in your mind's eye, think heart. And when I'm working with people in clinic, I can feel emotion in the right ventricle, the right atrium, or the left atrium and ventricle, in a particular valve, in the Brendelbranch. Anyway, different parts of the heart, I can actually feel emotion in that. But we're not going to be that specific. We're going to be just specific to the organs. So let's go to the heart. In your mind's eye, get in an imaginary submarine and travel down to the heart. There. Good, good. Now, from that position, from that space, we're going to assume we might be holding dislike, hate. Hate's a very strong word, but we can hold that emotion there. It's still an emotion. So let's feel that from the heart. Feel the unlove. And like attracts like, and it will get it, that emotion that's stuck, which is energy in motion. It'll get that emotion now in motion, and it'll flow freely out of the body. Sometimes you'll take a spontaneous breath when it releases. Sometimes you'll just know that it releases because you feel lighter. So now we needed to fill it with love. And I'm going to use my essential oil Joy to help bring about some happiness and love in my heart. Beautiful. Let's move on to the lungs. Now, specifically, it could be right or left lung. Right lung has 3 lobes. The left lung has 2 lobes. It could be in a specific lobe. But let's not be that specific. Let's just feel the lungs. And so we're going into the lungs, and we're going to feel the grief and sadness that might be held in the lungs. So in your mind's eye, go down, and all of these emotions stacked up on top of one another can bring us anxiety and panic attacks. It's nasty. Okay, here we go. For some reason, I'm settling on this lung, so that's okay. I'll stay there. You might be settling on a specific lung, or you might be in both. Okay, here we go. We've got our release on us that we started with. So the oil is helping, and we're going to feel sadness and grief from the lungs. Whatever it takes to get you into that state of mind, but feel it from the lungs. Feel it and feel it and feel it again. Like attracts like. The emotion will sense the emotion that you're feeling that is now in motion and not stuck. And like a magnet, that stuck emotion will get attracted to the feeling that you're feeling, and it'll be released. So stay with it, feel it, feel it, feel it till you don't need to feel it anymore. And again, you might take a spontaneous breath, or you just might feel lighter. And as we fill it with love, I'm going to apply bergamot and huff it to this side of my lung. Beautiful. All right. Are you filling your lungs with love now that you've gotten that sadness and grief out of there? Beautiful. Excellent. So we did the lungs, we did the heart. Let's go to the liver. Now, the liver is on your right side, so I am going to scoot back here. So this is, in the camera it looks like my left side, but it's actually my right side. So I'm going to use my real right. And we're going to connect, again, get into that imaginary, going to connect to the oil that we applied, if you have the oil. Release to help us release. You can also use lemon. Lemon is really good for livers. Juvaflex, Juvacleanse. Let's go down into that liver. Liver's a big organ. Actually, as you can see from this, it goes pretty much across the body. The larger lobe is on the right, but the smaller lobe is on the left. So right across, in my imaginary submarine, let's travel down to the liver. And I can feel a specific spot that my liver might be holding anger. So here we go. Don't worry, you're not going to punch any walls because you're feeling it from where it's being stored. Here we go. Feel anger from that liver. Right inside that liver, feel it. Feel the anger. Even if you don't know what you're angry about, doesn't matter. Somewhere along the line you stored it. That's it. Feel it, feel it, feel it. Beautiful. Nice. And fill it with love. You may take a little longer than I did, but that's fine. Just stay with it until you feel like you don't need to feel it anymore. Then you're good. All right, moving on. Stomach. Stomach and spleen. On your left side, spleen is right there. It's with the size of your fist. Good, so we're just going to go like that. All right, in your imaginary submarine, down we go, into the stomach and the spleen, and you're going to feel worry. Evoke the emotion of worry. Oh, worry is such black tar energy. I don't like to even think about it, but I got to get any that's stuck in there before I started to realize that worry is such a negative emotion and how it's black tarish and sticks to our body. It's probably there from way back. So I'm going to feel worry till I don't need to feel it anymore for my stomach and spleen. Oh, there we go. Again, a spontaneous breath might tell you that it's free, or it just moves better, it's not restricted in any way, and it feels lighter. Now fill it with love. Good. Now, if a childhood trauma happens to be coming up, you could use the oil Inner Child, and you could go specifically on the spleen, because the spleen holds childhood traumas. You could put your hand, connect to the spleen, and ask, how old am I? And you'll get a number, and then you go to the trauma that happened at that age. You might not even remember it. It's okay. Let's do one of those. Let's put our hands on the spleen. Again, all of this is where's my iceberg? All of this is contributing to this, right? This is all the stuff we're dealing with here that's contributing to your anxiety that's sitting on the surface. It's below the surface where the real healing takes place. So spleen, mind's eye, go down inside the spleen and ask, how old am I? First number, I heard 5. And I do know something happened to me when I was 5. So I don't need to go through that again. I just need to give that 5-year-old the support she didn't get at that point in time, and she stored it in her spleen. So whatever number you got, imagine yourself at that age. Now give her all the love, or him all the love and support that 5-year-old, 12-year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-old needs. Whatever age you got, imagine yourself at that age. Give it, give her, him, them, whatever they need. Love, security, compassion. Oh, Whew. And again, a spontaneous breath, or it feels lighter, it feels like it's moved, your torso moves, you don't feel as stuck. And fill it with love. Beautiful. Okay, let's see. Go back to the liver, and underneath the liver is your gallbladder. Now, I don't have a gallbladder anymore, but energetically, it's still in my life force. So I've actually replaced it behind my liver, even though physically I don't have one anymore, but energetically, I still do. So I can still hold things. The gallbladder holds bitterness. So if you're bitter about a situation, even if you don't remember, maybe you stored it and don't remember it, maybe you remember it all too well. Let's go to that little pouch below the liver, called the gallbladder, connect to it, and just feel bitterness. Just feel just so bitter about something. It borders on anger, but it's a different emotion, bitterness. Stay with it, stay with it, stay. There we go. You get better and better, and it's quicker and quicker the more you do this. Fill it with love. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, let's go to the gut or the intestines. All right, down here, right there, small intestine. Okay, small intestine can hold anxiety. There are other organs that can hold anxiety, and many of these emotions that we've dealt with can cause anxiety. But we're going to go to the small intestine specifically for anxiety. So in your mind's eye, now there's oils that you can use for anxiety, peace and calming. This is my go-to. I always grab peace and calming whenever I'm finding issues with anxiety. Peace and calming, orange, some people like frankincense, stress away, all of those are great oils for anxiety. Here we go. Ooh, I can feel the peace and calming working already. Connect to your small intestine, all of those loops. Beautiful. And if you want to be more specific, where am I holding this anxiety in my small intestine? You can be that specific. Whoops, over here. So I'm holding it, connecting to it, in my mind's eye, going down, and I'm going to feel anxious. I'm going to feel the anxiety. I have to try to figure out what I'm anxious about. Just got to feel it, and like a magnet, that energy of that emotion that I'm emoting will pick up the energy of the emotion that's stuck. It's energy, not emotion. It'll get it in emotion. It'll move it out of the body. That's how it works. Here we go. Feeling it. Ooh, feeling very anxious right now. I'm just going to ride it through. I know it feels awful for those of us that have anxiety disorder. It just feels creepy crawly, like there's ants crawling all over me. But that's okay. I'm going to ride it. There, it just released. Whew. Now I feel calm. And I'm going to fill it with love. Beautiful. Good. Now, we're going through the large intestine. The large intestine or the colon. Okay? That's going to hold, it's all about eliminating the past. So it's holding past burdens, let's call it. So ask your body to take yourself to your colon or your large intestine, and ask your body to take you to the section that you're holding that past issue that you can't seem to release. So for some reason I'm over here. Interesting enough, that's where I had colon cancer. Yep. Actually a little lower, my sigmoid colon. I'm in my descending colon right now. Obviously I've got to work on something that's stuck there. Okay, so I'm just going to give it the support that it needs where I'm holding on to past issues in my tissues. So I'm just going to holding on to the past. I am going to feel that grabbing on, and you know how it feels like when you're just, no, I'm not going to let that go, I don't forgive, I don't this, I don't, I'm holding, nope, I'm locking it up there, locking it in here, and not going to let it go, I'm revenge, the whole 9 yards. That's what I'm going to have a little collection of energies, and something will grab it, and because like attracts like. So here we go, I've got kind of revenge, I've got some frustration, holding on there, something connected. doesn't feel very good right now, but I know if I stay with it, it will go, and there it goes. Whew. And I'm going to fill it with love once again. Beautiful. Last but not least, kidney bladder. Now, your kidneys, I'll find this guy, I'm going to take him apart. They're closer to your back. Yeah, here he goes. Just got to take some body parts out. So there's your kidneys, closer to your back. Your left one, and I know this looks like the right in the camera, but it's actually your left. Your left one's a little higher than your right because the right gets pushed down because the liver is so much larger. And then you have your ureters, and then you have your bladder sitting right in there. Yeah, right in front of your sacrum, that bone in your, this bone right here by your derriere. Okay, so kidneys, and on top of the kidneys sits a gland called the adrenal gland. You may need to do some specific work in the adrenals to help with anxiety issues. But we're going to go kind of all together. Kidneys, adrenals, and bladder. Again, if you want to be specific, so you're going to take your hands, just going to put them on your back. Like so. Glad I picked a twirly chair. Now, ask your body to take you down to your kidneys. And you can ask which kidney is holding the fear. I'm getting both, so I'm going to stay with both sides. Connecting with my thumbs on my adrenals. And my mind's eye is also on my bladder. So, this is fear. We're going to feel fear till we don't need to feel it anymore. So I'm just feeling fear from the kidneys, adrenal, bladder, from that area, not stuck up in my head, down in my kidneys, my adrenals, and my bladder. That's where I'm feeling the fear from. Here we go, way down. And I'm just feeling fear, whatever emotes fear in you, and gets it going. Because your body will recognize that emotion, energy, the emotion of fear. Like attracts like. It'll be attracted like a magnet. Whew. And you may shake. See, I'm shaking a little bit. That's fear and trauma coming out of me. It's not a bad thing. It's not a scary thing. Just let it happen. Don't try to fight it. Ooh. And there it goes. See how quickly it resolves when you stay with it. Now, I'm going to feel it. I'm going to feel love and compassion. Fill that empty space with love and compassion. There you have it. Wonderful, wonderful. So, let's take a few seconds to ground because you need to ground after that. So imagine roots growing out of your feet. Kick your shoes off. Try to make sure that your feet are either on solid ground. You're not working through any rubber soles. Grow those tree roots out of your feet down to the center of the earth. Yeah. And if you want to use a technique that I taught you in Taming Trauma, just scan the room. And my eyes centered on this painting that I have right here. It's a painting of an angel that my sister-in-law painted for me. It's beautiful. Those of you that have been to my treatment room know it. I'll show it to you at the end. It's a beautiful painting. Yeah, I'll show it to you right now because it is so beautiful. It's a painting of Tree of Life with an angel sitting in the middle of it, welcoming the life back. I always envision those white leaves as possible tears and just feeling the emotion that needs to be feeling. So, scan your room, find something that catches your eye, and just stay with it, stare it, until you feel the emotion, the energy coming down your body, out the bottom of your feet. You'll know because you start getting heavier. Stay with that image. Don't try to think about it, judge it, contemplate it, just stare at it. There you go. I hope this was helpful. I know it was helpful for me. I didn't realize I had that much stuck emotion. And I do this every night. Obviously, I'm going to do more. So, As I've said before, emotions are layers upon layers upon layers upon layers, and you have to do it over and over and over and over again, because you'll say, I did that thing that she did the video on and it didn't work. Everything's back, the anxiety's back. Just means you need to do more. So good luck. Don't get frustrated. You can do this. I know. Take care. Bye-bye.